Hey greetings, welcome to another video. What if they give you a quadratic expression where the coefficient of x squared is not 1? Let me show you how to factorize this quadratic expression. So to factorize this expression, you need to use a method called finding the magic numbers. To find the magic numbers, the first thing that you need to do, or the first step that you need to follow, is to multiply the coefficient of x squared by the last term. And 2 times minus 60 gives you negative 120. So now you have to find the magic numbers. To find the magic numbers, you need to find two numbers such that when you multiply them, you get negative 120, and when you add them, you get the coefficient of the middle term, which is minus 14. So let's write all the possible combinations. Minus 60 and 2, if you multiply these two, you get negative 120. 2 and minus 60 gives you 120. Negative 20 times 6 gives you 120. And negative 120, and 20 times negative 6 gives you negative 120. Other combinations is 30 and negative 4 and negative 30 and 4. So I remember what I said, that when you multiply the magic numbers, you should get negative 120, and when you add the magic numbers, you should get negative 14. So the numbers that you choose should satisfy both conditions. So let's check the first pair. Negative 60 times 2 gives you negative 120, but doesn't give you negative 14. So we cancel that pair. And then same here, 2 times negative 60. It gives you negative 120, but it doesn't give you negative 14. So we cancel that pair. And then the third combination, negative 20 times 6 gives you negative 120. And when you add negative 20 to 6, you get negative 14. So it seems like these are your magic numbers. So we can discard the rest of the numbers because we found our magic numbers. So then what you do next is you just write the first term, 2x squared. And then what you do here is you split the middle term. So you write it as negative 20x plus 6x minus 60. Because if you add these two, negative 20x plus 6, it brings you back to negative 14x. So notice in the first two terms, you can factor out 2x. So this is equals to 2x. And then you're left with x minus 10 plus. And in the second, in the third and the fourth terms, you can factor out 6. So if you factor out 6, you're left with x minus 10. And then you'll notice in our new expression, we've got x minus 10 as a common factor. So you can factor that out, x minus 10. And then you're left with 2x plus 6. So now we can test to see if our factors are correct. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times 6 is 6x. And then negative 10 times 2x is negative 20x. And negative 10 times 6 is negative 60. And this gives us 2x squared minus 14x minus 60, which brings us back to the original expression. So let's have a look at the second question. And this question looks relatively complicated because you've got a cube here and you've got to the 9th power here, and there's also an 8 here. But bottom line is we can see something with a cube. So it already tells us that we need to apply the sum of two cubes. So let's just rewrite this so that it's more comfortable to work with. So you'll notice that 8 here can be written as 2 to the power of 3, because 2 to the power of 3 is 8 times x cubed plus, and this b to the power of 9 can be written as b cubed to the power of 3. So yeah, I've just used the power rule, which states that 8 to the power of m raised to the power of n is equals to 8 to the power of m times n. And in this case, your m and your n is 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. When you work with the power rule, you multiply the exponents. So now you'll notice that you can take out 3 here. So it's half times x raised to the power of 3 plus b cubed raised to the power of 3. So this very much reminds us of the identity, sum of cubes identity. And the sum of cubes identity is x cubed plus y cubed is equals to x plus y x squared minus xy plus y squared. So in our given case, this whole expression becomes our x, and this whole expression becomes our y. So let's substitute these terms in the place of x and y. So this would give us the first term. If we substitute this term in the place of x, you'd get half x, and then the second term is y, so it's plus b cubed into, and then we're going to substitute this in the place of x here, so this gives us half into x squared, and then it's minus half into x, and our b in this case, our y in this case is b cubed plus, and then in the place of y we've got b cubed squared. So this gives us half x plus b cubed into half squared is 1 over 4 x squared minus half x into b cubed plus b to the power of 6. So essentially how I moved from this step to the next step is I associated this term here with x and b cubed with y. So wherever I saw an x and a y, I substituted these terms. So that's why you see in the place of x here I put half times x, and in the place of y I put b cubed, and I did the same for these terms. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one.